let's look at the Cryogenics company. First off, read this disclaimer carefully. In this video, we will go to one of the site geists. Very interesting one, very nicely performing one called Cryogenics. Here you can see the companies in this theme. Of course, remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment for amazing results. Cryoport, you know, it is interesting, very close to all-time highs. I mean, Cryogenics is basically at all-time highs. In this video, we will go at Cryoport. CYRX is the ticker. Here is the seasonality of the stock. You can see that heading into September, it gets weaker and weaker. That's the general trend. Let's compare it against the S&P 500. Okay, like that. And you see the general phenomenon. You know, September, 33% of the time it outperforms S&P 500. So that's something to just be aware of. Okay, so let's just learn what the company is about. Okay, so Cryoport is the industry's most trusted provider of cold chain logistics solutions for temperature-sensitive life sciences materials, serving biopharmaceutical, intravitro, I think, IVF, I think that's intravitro. Let's just double check. Yeah, intravitro and fertilization, and surrogacy and animal health organizations around the world. Cryoport's proprietary Cryoport Express Liquid Nitrogen Dry Vapor Shippers, well, that's kind of a cumbersome name. Innovative C3 2-8 degrees solution. Wow. Cryoport Logistic Management Platform, lead-edge smartbox, condition monitoring system, and geosensing technology paired with unparalleled cold chain expertise and 24/7 365 customer support make Cryoport the end-to-end cold chain logistics partner that you can trust. I mean, they kind of should rewrite this sentence. It is very, very cumbersome. Okay, so this is basically what it's about. It's about keeping stuff cool. Okay, very interesting. I think that Cryogenics more broadly has a very bright future. Let's jump into the charts, like that. CYRX is the ticker, Cryoport. From this high down to this low here, at the current level, I guess, is minus 95%. So there's certainly been a major change here for Cryoport. The interesting thing is that when we look at if you do it like this, you can see that there's been this rounding bottom pattern that's been developing over many years. So here you have the low. Measure from this low here to this recent high. 1,839%. That's good. That is a pretty significant rally, I might say. We have these cycle patterns quite clearly. Let's investigate how consistent the cycles are. Yeah, we do kind of capture some of the cycles, actually quite a few of the cycles, even a bit further back. It certainly suggests that the current rising cycle is it's overextended, so it is so strong that it is, you know, yeah, there's been a massive gain, and historically we do see that pullbacks are relatively frequent for Cryoport. We are way above many key moving averages. We are very overbought, 80 RSI. The accumulation distribution line is corroborating the rally, that's good, but basically, based on the history of Cryoport, I wouldn't want to buy here. I would feel more comfortable being short. It's very overextended. Even though long term I am bullish. It is simply the case that this one moves in cycles. The correlation with the S&P 500 is 69, so it's a strong-ish correlation, but not super strong. Looking at the daily data points here, I mean, the move has been very impressive though. If you measure from this low here to this recent high, 164%, that's decent. But then again, we are seeing some fatigue here. Getting into a bit of a nosebleed RSI here, 79, and yeah, so basically a correction here to some of the prior support levels would make sense. either moving averages or maybe some horizontal support. It has simply gone too far. The correlation with S&P 500 is 26. That's a very mild correlation. That's kind of cool as far as building a diversified portfolio from a statistical standpoint. Let's get some other data here. Okay, it is optionable. That's fantastic. Shortable. That's beneficial. Here you can see some trend lines, and we were like super overextended basically. The price to book is 10, price to sales is 35, so definitively overextended. Performance is amazing. Year to date 106%, that's fantastic. If we look at the price target, okay, so the average analyzed price target is $34. No, okay, scratch that, stop the presses, okay. The stock is currently the stock is trading for $34. That's the current price. The analyst price target average is, as you can see quite clearly here, $35.71. Hence, the price target is significantly below where it is currently trading. So the analysts basically think that, okay, this stock is just way above where it kind of should have been. It's kind of gone a bit too far. If we go to CYRX.com, they have a number for sell. That's clearly bearish. F value score, so basically there's no value whatsoever. It's completely blown out. A growth though, that's good. But yeah, it's just very overextended. No dividend, a market cap $1.3 billion US, so there is some size. But basically, this is a story of a fantastic company, very interesting business. It has simply just gone way too far. It needs to just cool down, pun completely and unapologetically intended. Okay, let's look at some of the S&P 500 companies. Viacom. As you know, I am currently on holiday. Will be on holiday until the 5th of August. That's why there's this thunderstorm of videos in front of you. So Viacom CBS. Ever since 2014, we've seen a very nasty bear market actually for Viacom. So to this low here, minus 88%. That's a fall from grace if there ever was one. We went all the way back here to these prior levels. We actually went below that, so yeah, you had the opportunity to certainly get it at the lows. A problem for Viacom is that it's in a business that's it has some serious competition. So this is a story of a company that it has gotten low though. It certainly has. So it's one of those, okay, the contrarian in me is like, oh, maybe there's some opportunities here. Looking at the most recent developments, we did see some rally recently here on this candlestick. I mean, there are buyers. There are some buyers, but if you look at the accumulation distribution line here, there is actually a big divergence. So you can see this candlestick here, this green one. This rally here was on very low volume, hence I wouldn't read too much into it. Yeah, okay, this is just a tough one. You are getting it at the low though. That's the bullish case. There could be some rotation in the market that could be favorable for Viacom, especially for mutual fund managers who will move out of the overbought stocks and into those that are, the laggards. And Viacom is a S&P 500 stock, hence it does get that just almost actually quite robotic price action. Here is Macy's, okay? So this is more in the fashion business. We went all the way back to, did we make new all-time lows? Oh, not completely, this is the all-time low back, pretty close. Yeah, Macy's in tough trouble. Very low though. I mean, it is at a very low level. Hence, you could certainly make a defensible case that you could just put on a speculative, bullish position on Macy's, but it is very speculative, because the reason why it is here is because people have lost faith in Macy's, okay? Like, in a big way. Then again, we have seen these major cycle patterns before. When there is a good cycle for Macy's, like this one right here, that's 124% fast. Yeah, so from a bullish perspective, super speculative, it's interesting. At these levels, Macy's is interesting, even though there is a good reason why it's here, okay? It's not like... the Macy's here is not the same Macy's we had here. Things have changed. I think... yeah, I'm starting to memorize the tickers. Here's Intel, okay. So here you have the dot-com bubble. Then you have a monstrous rounding bottom. We have not been able to make a new all-time high yet, but you do have a nice and clear uptrend. And you know, this is in the semiconductor business. It's a strong business. It's a bright future ahead. People need computation. It does have some solid competition from AMD and some of the mobile, chip developers. Though when it comes to like super powerful computing, Intel does have a strong position. When it comes to the super high-end premium market. Yeah, you do have a rounding bottom, but you are buying at the higher end of the rounding bottom though. When it comes to a rounding bottom, ideally you do want to capture it a bit lower. When it's starting to become a rounding bottom, when it's it's halfway. Okay, let's go to Morgan Stanley. Here you have Morgan Stanley. Yeah, very cyclical chart. Let's actually look at the cycle patterns here and see whether it is repeatable. There is some relatively clear cycle patterns, possibly suggesting that we could have a new cycle pattern beginning. Maybe this is it. Who knows? The banks, as I've said in some of the other videos here, the banks are, many of these big finance companies are interesting. Some of them have not really participated in the comeback rally. Morgan Stanley has done that to a larger degree though. Hence there are better candidates here in the finance landscape as far as buying buying a comeback story, because it has come back meaningfully. Let's look at Comcast, CMCSA. Very erratic price action. That's the first thing jumping at me. Up, down, up, down, up, down. It means that it can be very fantastic for swing traders. Let's see whether the cycle patterns are consistent. Not like super clear cycle patterns. But this seems to be a start of a new cycle pattern though, a new rising cycle that is. Meeting resistance here at 50-week moving average in green. The accumulation distribution line is rising consistently, so there are buyers here stepping in. Yeah. If we were to get some pullback though, you would have a head and shoulders pattern, shoulder, head and shoulder. So that's something that could be tradable if it develops that way. Okay. Don't fight the trend, of course, and may the trend be with you.